You can want change so bad and go after it with everything that you have and still self-sabotage every single time. This has nothing to do with how much you deserve it or how worthy you are of creating these changes. It has everything to do with understanding how our brain is wired and what keeps us stuck. Your brain is so smart that it's set up in a way that's designed to protect you and keep you safe, even if that means keeping you stuck in situations and environments that aren't allowing you to grow. So that's why every time you want to go out of your comfort zone and do something different, all the fear comes up. What are people going to think? What are they going to say? What if I fail? What if nothing comes of this? What if I look like an idiot? It's that wiring that keeps you stuck in the same identity, the same environment, and the same patterns that you so badly just want to break through from. And today, I'm going to break down exactly what to do using psychology to shift your identity, break through the patterns and habits so that you can step into that future you, to that life that you so badly want. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what's keeping you stuck and what you need to do to shift it without it feeling overly complicated or stressful to implement. If you're new here, I'm Allie. I'm a self-development and relationship coach, and I'm focused on going all in on myself over this next year. I am ready for a change, and so everything I'm doing and everything I know from the past 10 years of working with clients, I'm going to share with you so that you can also implement these things in your own life. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I would love it if you'd hit subscribe. I want to create a space where everyone can support each other so you're not in this alone. For now, we're going to jump into understanding everything that's keeping you stuck and how you can use psychology to overcome this and break through the barriers to create the life and version of you that you actually want. This means leveling up your self-identity, your environment, habits and routines, and everything that's going to create that new version of you and the life that you actually want. Let's start with the foundation. Your self-identity is the core of everything that you create for yourself in your life. Change doesn't start with your habits, it starts with who you believe you are. The thing about self-identity is it's automatic. So we automatically have these thoughts based on our past experiences. So before you can even put thought or effort into it, you're going to have all of those self-defeating thoughts come through. I've never followed through before. I'm not capable of change. It's so much easier for other people. I'm not someone who X, Y, and Z. But this is something that you can change. Make a list for yourself of everything it is that your ideal self, your future self would be doing, and just start acting like it now. For me, it's someone who's ambitious. I follow through on the things that I say I'm going to do. I carve out the time to do things like filming these videos because this is important to me and this is something I want to go all into. You make certain sacrifices and set goals and follow through on it. At one point in my life, I would say that I was someone who wasn't studious. I identified as someone who was more lazy. I shifted my self-identity through changing what I believed I was capable of, and that is what got me into Berkeley. That's what got me into USC for my master's. That's what helped me have the dedication and drive to get licensed as a therapist, to quit therapy and start coaching. Your self-identity drives your behaviors. Who you believe you are drives the actions that you do. So if you don't change the story that you're telling yourself, you're going to be on autopilot and you're going to keep showing up in the exact same way you've been doing and getting the exact same result. But if you put the time and energy into thinking about who it is that you want to be, how you want to show up, and start showing up as that person, you're breaking that pattern. You start to show up as that person more naturally. This goes into the next one, which is the complacency bias. Your brain isn't wired for success, it's wired for safety. And the thing about the complacency bias is your brain doesn't care if you're happy, it cares if you feel safe. So think about every scary thing that you've done, every new thing you did. If you went to college and met a bunch of new people, if you started a new job, it feels uncomfortable because you're going out of your comfort zone, but what came from that? Potentially new friends, more money, all of these experiences that you wouldn't have had if you just stayed safe. So when you do things that are aligned with who you want to be and get out of your comfort zone, that's where you can signal growth to your brain. And at a certain point, what once felt uncomfortable will feel like the new norm. It'll feel more comfortable. Think about every job you started, 2 to 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, especially 2 months in, you feel more at home, you feel comfortable. This is your new norm and you feel safe there. So that feeling of being uncomfortable or getting out of the comfort zone, it's only temporary, it's not long term. The next one is a great follow-up to this too, because it's talking about our brain's capability for change. So neuroplasticity and neural pruning. Neuroplasticity is basically the ability for your brain to create new neural pathways. I always think of the metaphor of if you're climbing a mountain. Imagine the last time you went hiking, there's going to be one very clear path. People have walked it a million times. There's no brush, there's no shrubs in the way. Think of that path as the automatic thoughts that you have, what you think you're capable of, the self-defeating thoughts you have, the criticism, the worry, the fear, whatever it is that comes automatic to you. That main path on the hike is the strongest neural pathway. It's automatic, you don't question it, you just kind of go there. If you wanted to create a new neural pathway, this would be doing different actions every day until they become automatic. What is the story you tell yourself that you want to change? What is that automatic thought or something that's not serving you? And how can you start to shift it? Our brain is so smart to be able to adapt and change to to who we think we are, who we believe we are, what it is that we want to go after. There's always resistance at first with change. The same way if you were to hike and start to take a new trail, there's going to be brush and shrubs in the way. It's not going to be easy. You do that over and over, it eventually is going to become easy. The next one is confirmation bias. Think of it as your brain basically being a lawyer, and it is arguing all of the facts to prove your case. I was having a conversation with a client the other day, and this came up because he was like, nothing ever works out for me. He goes on social media and every post, every reel he sees is about how there's no loyal women. But then you talk to women and they say, every time I go on social media, it says every man is avoidant or a narcissist. The little lawyer in your brain is going to be going on and on, challenging this, saying every X, Y, and Z example of why this is true. It's the universal algorithm that is showing you all these pieces and data to prove the point that you're trying to prove. But the thing about this is statistics can always be changed. There's a statistic to prove everything. That's why lawyers argue both sides of the case. It comes down to what it is that you want for yourself. If you think nothing ever works out for me, I never get to where I want to be, your brain's going to find every single opportunity where this is true. But I want you to challenge this because this actually isn't the case. Setbacks aren't a bad thing. Setbacks, if anything, is just a way to learn and grow. Before I started coaching, I had, I think, at least like 3 different ideas of businesses I wanted to do. I tried to start one right after college and it went absolutely nowhere. That isn't a failure. That was lessons learned. I learned so much from that. And so when I went to start coaching, I took a completely different approach. I spent so much time learning and educating myself and seeing what I needed to do to take the steps forward to end up being successful at it. If I would have listened to every thought in my head telling me why I was going to fail and why this wasn't going to work, I wouldn't have done it. But knowing the confirmation bias, knowing how our brain's set up, again, to keep us safe, it doesn't want us to feel hurt and pain, but using failures as a lesson, as a tool to grow and learn and do different, this is what sets you apart, and this is what's going to help you step into that new self-identity and that new version of you. Decide on one belief that you want to have, and you don't need to see it today, but decide on one belief and start to look for situations and things to confirm this. It could be a small action you do, a change you have, a change in your thought patterns. Whatever it is, start to build that up and lean into that and confirm this new version of you and confirm the new self-identity that you're stepping into. The next one is delusional confidence. Fake it till you make it. As much as people say this, as cliche as it may sound, it actually works. If you wait until you're ready, you're never going to be ready. You're never going to start the thing that it is that you want to do. You're never going to step into that future self, that new self-image. Show up as that person before your reality is caught up to you. If you want a promotion or a raise at work or a new job or to start a business or to get into a relationship or to make new friends, if you show up as a version of you who already has these things, you have that confidence. You know that you're capable of this. Imagine how you would show up as that person. You're going to be so much more grounded, so much more confident. Show up on a date instead of thinking, do they like me? Are they interested in me? No, do I like them? Is this the kind of person I want to be with? You're going to show up as such a different, more genuine, more self-assured version of yourself, and that's going to start to create the reality. The reality is going to catch up to the version of you that you're already showing up as. This also goes into the next one, which is changing your environment. You can't grow in an environment that's keeping you stuck. Your nervous system responds to what it is that's around you. That's why they say if you're in a messy space, it's a reflection of how you feel internally, because a messy, cluttered mind typically shows up also as a messy space. So think about what you can clean, what you can streamline. How is your ideal self living? How do you take care of yourself? This could be small routines that you do, how you start your day, what time you wake up. Think about one thing you can change in your environment to help you show up as your best self, as that future self, because it really does make a difference. Now that we've talked about the psychology behind why you stay stuck and the things that you need to shift, I want to share with you a 4-step framework that's actually going to help you implement these things and start to see the changes you want starting today. The first thing is one of the foundational things to change, and it's just making small steps forward. If you could identify your self-image that you want to step into, one thing that you do, one thing you go after, think about how you can make small steps and changes. So don't overhaul your life overnight. This is really small, methodical steps that you do each day to get you closer to that version of you. An example of this could literally just be like going to bed 15 minutes earlier, waking up in the morning and having a glass of water. It doesn't need to be huge life-changing things, but stuff that can build on itself every day, and you can start doing more and more small things because over time those do build up to huge changes. The second step is one of the first things that I talked about, and this is shifting your self-identity. I would deep dive into a journaling prompt on what self-identity am I holding on to now, what's no longer serving me, and what can I change about this? Because the sooner that you can start to shift that in how you see yourself and showing up as that new version of yourself, your reality is going to follow. It's just a matter of time. I wouldn't focus on looking for every little thing that proves you're not this person yet. We need to show up as that version of you, the way that you would walk into a room, how you carry yourself, the effort you put into the work that you do. Show up as that version of you and watch your reality catch up, because it will. It's just a matter of time, so that you get to the point where it no longer feels like you're faking it till you make it, but you truly believe yourself to have those qualities. The third step is stress management. When our nervous system is out of whack and we are super stressed out, nothing's going to flow easily. So what can you do to ground yourself in the next, let's just say 30 days? Can you do meditations a few times a week? Go for walks, start your day on a slower pace, wake up a little earlier, start to ground yourself and your nervous system and see how you feel, because that's going to be a huge part to creating these changes. And then the fourth step is just staying consistent. Consistency is the key to any growth that you want to see. There's no secret hack or anything like that behind this. It's just small baby steps and being consistent. Once you have the clarity of where you want to go and you know the small steps you need to take to get there, I swear everything changes. I would love to hear what it is that you want to work towards, what some of the things are that you're letting go of, and what version of you want to step into, what habits and routines come to mind. If you want to be in a community of like-minded people who are going to support each other, make sure to hit subscribe, because I would love to see you in the next one. If there's anything that you want me to cover that I haven't touched on, or anything you want me to dive deeper in, feel free to let me know. I would love to hear from you. But I hope that you found these helpful, and I hope to see you in the next video.